lesson. Today we're going to have a look at a very short exercise, actually 6 points, multiple choice. Here you can see a text taken from Reuters, and this is an article about COVID restrictions in courts in the USA. And here you can see just a part of it. I will link the whole article below. So I would like you to have a look at just at this text here, or in the PDF that you will find in the description box below. Read the whole text and try to choose the right answers. You may pause the recording now, and in a minute I'll discuss all the answers. So when you're ready, unpause the recording and check with me. All right, I guess that now you're ready, and we can have a look at the first gap. So here, federal appeals courts across the country are revising procedures, in-person oral arguments, and access. So here we've got procedures, and as you can see in the first point, we've got four different prepositions. So here it's about a collocation. Just one of the prepositions can be used with the word procedure. And if you don't know, if you're not sure about a certain collocation, you may always have a look at a dictionary. So you may always have a look into a dictionary, and there you can find the right collocation. So just like here, we've got procedure for something. So the other collocation is under a procedure, under the procedure, or procedure for something. Here, zgodnie z procedurą, under a procedure established by legislation, or that's the correct procedure for hiring staff. So again, here we've got, they are revising, and so the courts are revising procedures for these kinds of arguments. And the next point here is number 2, and we've got 4 different words that can be used here with access. What kind of access are they revising? Chamber access, justice access, bench access, or courthouse access. Let's go through all these words and discuss them first. The first one is chamber, and it can be translated into Polish as komnata, izba, komora. In the Cambridge Dictionary, you will find the definition: a room or space used for a particular purpose. So it may be a room, but it can be some kind of space, like in the third sentence. So the first example here is Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets. So probably that's the most popular usage of this word for Polish people. The second one is the lower chamber of the parliament. Then we translate it as niższa izba parlamentu. We can also say that there are 4 hard chambers. Then we mean komory serca. And in the legal context, there are 4 chambers in the Polish Supreme Court. In the courts, we've got, in common courts, we usually have divisions, wydziały, but in the Supreme Court, we've got chambers, izby. All right, justice. We've got justice and injustice, but something can be just or unjust, and then it means unfair. So we've got a different prefix here, another prefix here, and some usage examples. So the first sentence is: there is no justice in the world. Then we mean sprawiedliwość. We can talk about justice system sprawiedliwości, or about miscarriages of justice, and then we mean pomyłka sądowa. So if a certain court makes a wrongful decision, it's called a miscarriage of justice. All right, bench. It can be translated into Polish as ławka or ława. So the general meaning is like here in the 2 sentences at the top, they were sitting on a park bench, or he spent the last minutes of the match on the bench. And there is another legal meaning of the bench, and the bench is a court of law or the place where a judge or judges sit in court. So it's more, we can say, the physical place where the judge sits, or just metaphorically the court of law. And we've got an idiom connected with that: to serve on the bench or to sit on the bench. And this means to work as a judge. So he served on the bench for 15 years. Then this sentence means exactly the same as he's been a judge for 15 years. That's his profession. All right. We've got the last word, which is courthouse. And then we just mean a building containing courts of law. And in Polish, we can say sąd or budynek sądu, so just the building itself. Here, if we talk about access, we mean the access to the building. So just vaccinated, fully vaccinated people can access the court. So courthouse access, access to the building. Now we've got number 3, and this one is again a collocation with a flurry of, through, on, or at announcements. Here again, we just have to know that the collocation, and this one is a flurry of something. We use it to stress that something is sudden and there's a lot of something. So here, there was a flurry of excitement as the president walked in. Yes, so suddenly there was a lot of excitement. In our sentence, we've got with a flurry of announcements. So suddenly we had a lot of announcements this week detailing new vaccination. Now let's move on to the second part of this text. The 10th US Circuit Court of Appeals, for example, on Thursday, regulated, restricted, tethered, or dropped public access to its Denver courthouse to fully vaccinated individuals. Here, we have to have a look at a preposition that we've got: to fully vaccinated individuals. If we choose any of these words from the list, A, B, C, or D, we have to keep in mind that this particular word has to collocate with to as a preposition. So if we have a look at these sentences here, we've got the use of these chemicals is strictly regulated. Then we just mean that something is regulated or not regulated. So we've got some kind of rules, provisions about that or not. So here we cannot say that this was regulated to somebody. So this word doesn't make sense in this sentence. It's not correct. The second one is restricted, and the sentence that we've got here is membership is restricted to chief executive officers. Membership is restricted to them, so only they can have this kind of membership. It is only for them. We've got the next one, tethered. To tether something to something else, it's just to tie something to something else, to link. Usually, so physically, if we mean literally, then we mean that it's linked or tied with a rope. So here he tethered, he tied his horse to a tree. So again, we've got to as a preposition, but another meaning. And in the last sentence, the water level in the flooded region has finally begun to drop. Okay, so based on these examples, we can say that the second one is the right one because we've got to, it is restricted to them. So here it's restricted, the public access is restricted to fully vaccinated individuals. So then we'd mean that it's just for them. Only fully vaccinated individuals can enter the court. All right, now we've got number 5. And here we've got 4 different linking words: nevertheless, and, though, and moreover. So people that go into public areas of the courthouse also have to wear a mask. Nevertheless, and, though, moreover, judges presiding over oral argument can give judges and counsel the green to take off their masks. So there is this kind of rule that we have to wear a mask, but a judge can allow to take it off. So here we can see that we cannot use and we cannot use moreover as well, because they would connect sentences that are about the same thing, or that about something that we want to add to this first clause. And here we just want to stress some contrast, because normally the rule is that we cannot take off our masks. So here we can think about nevertheless and though, but there's one more thing, and this is punctuation. Here we have no comma, which in Polish is przecinek, so only though can be used without a comma. If we used nevertheless here, also after this word we would use a comma. So here the correct answer is of course though. All right, the last gap here, and we've got light, thumb, hand and arm, to give somebody the green. And this is an idiom, to give somebody the green light. In Polish it means it's quite similar, and it means dać komuś zielone światło. So just allow somebody to do something, is to give permission to do something. So thumb is also used with green in an idiom, but then it's used as to have a green thumb or to have green fingers, and it means to be good at gardening. Mieć rękę dorośli. All right, so that's the end of this exercise. Thank you for today, and I hope you learned something new.